I truly don't understand why central bankers would would argue so much for inflation. Why do they love inflation so much? It makes no sense to me.
It's a way that they've been able to engineer economic growth. So now they're in love with this notion of perpetual growth, and if they can gin up inflation, they can gin up economic activity, and so they consider that a win.
I guess you have to define what you mean by economic growth. Like, to me, economic growth means that people are improving their quality of life. Like, they have a higher capacity to have problems solved for them by other economic participants. Like, that's, to me, that's what economic growth should mean, not
Right.
just
So
like
the problem is they've fallen in love with statistics, and they say, well,
yeah.
GDP is our evidence that the economy is growing, not realizing that when you have a statistic that increases, it doesn't necessarily mean you have a proportional benefit to the people in society.
Right.
So as GDP grows, as you have inflation, clearly there's a boom in asset land. If you own assets, then it helps you, right? But if you're the common man working for a common wage, guess what? Inflation bumps up 4% a year. There's no way that what you earn will keep up with that rate of inflation over time, which means you experience frustration. You experience a form of poverty, right? So this is where I think academics are somewhat blinded by statistics and numbers. Maybe it's not intentional, but they've just forgotten the relevance of what they're actually working with. A GDP statistic has nothing to do with the well-being of a country. Right.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a statistic. And so if they can drive the statistic by driving some variable that they're tinkering with over here, like inflation, they consider themselves heroes. Meanwhile, the common man is like, no, my experience is you're a villain.